Guessing.
Yeah.
Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara, CPA extraordinaire, coming to you live from downtown Metro Manila for another amazing Bedrock interview. And tonight, uh, I think this is the fifth week in a row because she's such an interesting uh, character, interesting influencer, Coach Yan Yan Labonete, here to talk to us for the fifth consecutive week on on optimizing your LinkedIn profile. So we spent 4 weeks and it was supposed to be one interview, but as I started going through the questions, I realized there's a lot. You can't do this in uh, one interview. So we went through a lot. We pretty much went through the whole uh, kit and caboodle, from the banner to the headshot to the everything, everything to your experience. And tonight, Coach, what I'd like to cover is, now that you've gotten your LinkedIn profile optimized, how are we going to use it to actually get business? Now, I know you had, and every week I I use a number, and you're like, no, it's more. I think last week you had 28,000 followers, correct?
Yeah, now turning 30.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
another two. So I know you've been really active on LinkedIn.
yes.
Now, with LinkedIn, like on Facebook, you can only have 5,000 friends, right?
Yes.
Is there a limit on LinkedIn as to how many connections you can have?
No, that's I think unlimited. I see some millions of followers.
Really?
So yeah, she's I forgot the name, but some of the reason why she became famous on that, actually she's also teaching how to really, create business through LinkedIn. So some of the tips that I'm sharing is actually coming from her. So I am always sharing what works for me. The one she shared is also actually free webinar that time. So I just watch and then follow her suggestion. So yeah.
Yeah. So, and we had a very good meeting today about our Jumpstart community, and we have a follower already, Anna Della, another one of
Hi
your
Anna.
uh, and you made a point here. So you watched, you follow this one woman who talks about how to use LinkedIn to get business, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and do you do everything? Like, do you follow her formula to a T, or did you just take some of the
Um,
things?
Some, but the most effective that she share is, I think, creating a video. Actually, I'm still, even me, I have a limiting beliefs if I can do. I tried once creating a live. It also create more awareness on how to start freelancing. The first time I did it, I think I have 100 viewers that time. I just use StreamYard and then share it to LinkedIn. So it's effective. And then somebody reached out to me how to start freelancing. And that video is still running, and some people are, even 3 weeks ago, they still commenting, thank you for the valuable insight, I've learned a lot. So from there, I think, yeah, creating videos on LinkedIn, because yeah, they're all busy. Sometimes you can, even you're working, you can see there's someone who create lives and you just watch and hear, uh, listen to their discussion. But every discussion that you heard from LinkedIn is most probably a valuable one that you can use to your business.
Okay, so and I want to. So now my head is spinning because I'm like, wow, there's a lot more to this topic than
Yes.
I even knew. So first, let's talk about, why is it valuable? Like, what what's the benefit of having connections? I
LinkedIn,
could
I
tell
use, yeah,
you, I could tell you, like on Facebook, I know for a fact their algorithms. Like you could have, 3 million followers, and you post something thinking that they're all, no, maybe only 5 people see what you're posting. Is it the same on LinkedIn?
yeah. But there's also algorithm on LinkedIn. There's you have to follow the hashtag, and the good thing about on LinkedIn, even where you're not connected, if your connection like one of your posts, they will see that their friends like this post, and they will follow you. Unlike on Facebook, they cannot see if you like some
Oh,
pictures.
oh.
On
So
LinkedIn,
yeah, what I learned, Facebook and LinkedIn are two totally, totally different platforms. So what I find is, uh, like for Facebook, the groups are valuable, right? With LinkedIn, it's like you really got have business people on there. On Facebook, you got all kinds of people, right? You got pottery people. They have pottery groups. You
yeah.
have, people that like horseback riding, and that's fine. So I equate Facebook is like a family picnic, right? You can find all different kinds of flavors. LinkedIn, to me, is and I don't think LinkedIn is as much with the groups or the pages, but really the direct connections. Is that accurate?
Yeah, connection, which is mostly with the same industries and your target client. So you have to be really specific. For example, I mentioned, of course, I'm connecting with most of the accountants, CPA, and then every Monday, what I do is the connection every Monday 9 a.m. It resets to I think 50 connection every Monday. So if you're in the premium account, you can add as many as you can. And then if you have a premium account on LinkedIn, you can view all those who view your profile. So I can see who's interested in me. So some of them are accountant and some of them are business owners. So once they view my profile, meaning they're interested with me, so I add them.
Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about getting those connections because you don't just. So last week you had 28,000. Now you got 30,000. But so one way you can get connections is you actually can ask somebody to connect with you, right?
Yes.
And so now with the premium, and I don't know the difference between I mean, I know you get more features with the premium, obviously,
Yeah.
but you can only ask what, 50 people a week or 50 people
50
a
people
day?
a week. 50 people a
Oh,
week, you can
wow.
add them. But if they're the one who add you on the connection, that's good. So it will add on your connection. So
So now you didn't get another 2,000 connections if you could only ask 50 people to connect with you. So how exactly did you get another 2,000?
that's why in the community we have a weekly, free webinar, and some of the members sharing their pictures, and then if their friends or connections like that post, they will follow me. They see, so normally they tag my name on that webinar, and then somebody, I'm surprised they will add me. So yeah.
So, okay, so you do a free webinar
Yes.
and what you mentioned StreamYard, right?
Yeah, and then no, the free webinar for the community, example every Thursday, and then ask the community if you can share your valuable insight for this webinar, tag our speaker to say thank you. So it gives, a good way of exponentially growth on LinkedIn. If that speaker tag their name and then me, they will tag my name, and then those connection of those who post will follow us. So it's a
Okay,
win-win.
which community? Is it a LinkedIn
Accounting,
community?
no, accounting people's community. We have a free webinar every week. So yeah,
Okay, so you have a Facebook group, and I know that you just hit 20,000 people. So congratulations.
thank you. Shout out accounting people, and you're part of
Yeah,
that.
maybe you want to put a link to the Facebook group. So yeah, I know when I met you, what did I meet you about 18 months ago? You it
Yeah,
was
one
50,
five.
it was 1,500, and in 18 months you got over 20,000. So that's a pretty big accomplishment. So now and now we have Catherine, also known as Erin, uh, in here, and Annabelle
Watching.
is watching live. And if anybody else is watching live, just give us a hashtag live so you could be part of the
Oops, sorry.
stream. So you do a Facebook live, and how exactly does that translate into LinkedIn followers?
Yeah, so normally those members, me myself, if I have a webinar, I repost and then make my takeaways on that webinar. For example, like that last time we have a jump start, I'll post that and I'll just put the link after at the end of my post. You will put the
Okay, so
call.
you're putting the link to the webinar in LinkedIn.
Yes, and then
Ah,
the group and the, for example, jumpstart. So if you want to be agency owner, you want to be freelancer, join this community. So you will see it will grow organically because somebody is interested to be one.
okay, and now is there a difference between followers and connections?
Actually, I think the same. So I think the same followers and connections. They will still see all of my activities.
So it
Yeah.
does. So whether you have connections or followers, when you post something, there's a good chance that they could see it, right? That they're
Yeah.
gonna. Okay.
Yeah, I saw
So
it now. I have 22 connections and maybe the rest is 8,000 followers. That's why total of 22
okay,
20,000.
okay.
Yeah, got
So
it.
I don't think. Yeah. So I think a connection, and we could clarify this next week. But I think a connection is when you actually uh, ask somebody to connect with you, or they ask you. I still don't know how you got another 2,000 in 1 week. Are people? So I know when I go into LinkedIn, people are asking to connect with me because we've
Mhm.
been actively working in LinkedIn now. So that there's no limit to how many people can ask to connect with you, right?
Yes.
So I think the more followers, because you could also follow people.
Yeah.
I think you could follow companies and you could follow people. So I think like everything in social media, the more you get, it just keeps growing exponentially. So next week, you might have 35,000.
And no, I'm just roughly saying maybe 31 to 32. It depends on my activity. The more posts that I have today, I just post 3 posts, so it will gain another followers. So only 5 more, and then I'm 30,000. So I'm checking now, 29,995.
So
So five
you
more, thirty
so if
thousand.
you're watching this and you're not following Coach Yan Yan, or you're not, just reach out to us.
Five more slot.
Yeah, yeah. So let's try to do that before the this interview is over. Now you mentioned hashtags.
Yes.
So I know that they're powerful because a lot of other people use them, but I'm like I usually have ignored them because to be honest with you, I don't know what the purpose is, and so can you explain what
Yeah.
the hashtags are?
Actually, the hashtag I've been using on Instagram. So there's a lot of platform of how to grow your business. Before it's Instagram, before TikTok came, but the reason for the hashtag is easy for search. You can search immediately. For example, hiring. All of those who use hashtag hiring, all of those who use hashtag freelancer, even in TikTok, I've learned in TikTok you should only post three kinds of hashtag. For example, freelancer, hashtag work from home, hashtag freelance bookkeeper. So it's all related topic, but there's a one main main topic that they're looking for, and now specifically
So
target the audience.
if I'm looking for a topic, like let's say tax problems, because I'm big on
Yes,
tax problem resolution,
you
I
can
would
try.
just search hashtag tax problems.
Yes, tax problem and all the topic with regards to tax. Some
Yeah,
the people who
and I'll
post.
tell you the truth. I'm a CPA, and I've spent a lot of time resolving tax issues, and I
Mm,
found there's a lot of good posts about tax problems. And
yeah,
there's one guy that keeps posting about what's going on with the government, with the IRS, and this guy is spot on. I'm like, oh my God, I think we think alike.
yeah,
Okay, he's always bashing them. He's like, yeah, the IRS says this, but this is what's really happening. Today, I got an interesting post about how to use the statute of limitations to get rid of your IRS debt. And it was interesting because a lot of people they don't realize what the post was about was the IRS only has 10 years, well not only, but they have 10 years to collect on a debt. And I had a client once, every year he would get a letter saying, "Oh yeah, this your account's been credited," and it was like we would have a party. But if you do something like uh, apply for an installment agreement, it starts the statute of limitations again. But I thought that was a really good post because people, like let's say you're at 9 years and
mhm,
you're getting letters from the IRS and you say, you know what, I'm just going to make an installment agreement. All you got to do is wait another year.
yeah,
So there's, a lot of good stuff. And so I didn't know until now if I want to search a topic, I just got to use the hashtag.
yeah. Just now before I came in, I'm adding some of the enroll agent because every week I change who was I'm adding. But the top three that I'm adding is of course accountant, the CPA firm in the US, and tax enroll agent, because these three professionals are interrelated. So in somehow, collaborations or possible clients will come in. So that's why that's the top. I alternate today enroll agent, next week CPA, next week bookkeeper. It depends,
So
but that's the top three.
so this is how you find them. Use the hashtag.
Yes.
Oh,
Hashtag enroll
okay.
agent, yes, and then it will, and then I'm joining some group also in LinkedIn, but there's a limit of community on LinkedIn. I don't know, I think 10, unlike in Facebook you can
Oh,
join.
really? I
Yeah,
know.
and
So I could give you a tip. I know the AICPA in the United States is the biggest accounting organization.
yeah,
For and that's all CPAs. You got to be a CPA uh, to be in that. But you don't have to be a CPA to be in the LinkedIn group.
yeah. I think no need to be a CPA. Just
But
join. I think there's some questions, or it depends on the admin if they will allow you
yeah,
to join.
right, right. Yeah, just like on Facebook. Now you mentioned about the number of times you post. Is there like a recommended amount of times to post on
They
LinkedIn?
say only 3 times a week. There's, for example, alternate. Before they told me depends on the time zone of the client. For example, today is EST on US, so you should post around 9 a.m. if you're targeting US. But now, just a random. Normally, I do it on morning. It depends on the activity of the community. Myself, I want to share something. Somebody who wants to reshare the post. I random, but I make sure I create one content at least every day. Every day there's a
Okay.
story. So I have
Okay,
to
so you post one time a day.
one time and then maximum three.
Okay, 1 to 3 times a day.
Yes. And then
Okay,
I track it based on number of followers. So I have a tracker who is the most engaging post impression and who are the most comment
yeah, they
likes.
give you a lot of analytics, right?
Yeah, and then I save the link in my spreadsheet.
So
So I know how to use.
another thing. So with the premium, what I see is that you could see the people that viewed your profile.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I've been doing is I go in there, and if they're one of my avatars, like so coaches and consultants, that's an avatar for me. If they're one of those, and they viewed my profile, I send them a connection request.
Yes.
So that's another good benefit of the premium. Now, do you use Sales Navigator at all?
No. I think that's before I use that, but for some reason it's not been useful to me. So what I did now is just a manual. If I have a name, I save it the link and ensure I get if they are we're connected already. I'll go back next week if they added me and then get their email.
Okay.
Just the email I'll
So
add you with that.
I guess you got the free version, you got the premium, and I actually have the Sales Navigator, and that gives you a whole nother uh, bunch of functions.
Yeah,
And
but
one
the
of
sales navigators only saying email. They can scrap the email.
Yeah, so we could see exactly what's on their profile, even if they're not connections. But we also have this feature. I don't think we've been using it. It's called InMail. So you can, and I get them all the time. Okay, I get them all the time. And one of the reasons why I think I haven't used it is because it annoys me. When I get somebody sending me an InMail, it's like I know that they're not trying to connect with me. They got something to pitch me. But th- we should still use it because you could send the in mail to people that aren't even connections.
Yes, yes.
There's another tool, but you don't even use that.
Yeah, oh, there's some features now with AI. There's two kinds of introduction. Introduce yourself, introduce your. I think there's an AI now in LinkedIn. Good way of just a warm, cold introductions, templated
Right.
already. But the response is very very slow, and it's like they know it's AI. So
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, so when I use AI, because I do use it when I can, uh, I'll edit it. I want to make it mine. I don't want it to seem like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just a simple hi,
so.
happy to connect. How's your business going? So
Yeah,
simple hello.
right. So Anna has a question. She says, Coach Yan, can I put this on? Yeah. Uh, my LinkedIn profile got 18 views for 1 week. Is this optimized already?
Meaning there's your do you have activity on LinkedIn that they some of the connections get interested with you, so they view your profile. It's possible fellow accountants or possible clients. Maybe you applied in one of the job posts and they search you on LinkedIn, so they view your profile.
Yeah,
So that's why
but yeah. So I think the answer is that it depends. I mean, and I get because I see the analytics now, how many people viewed my profile, and it's been going up, and it's not a coincidence because we actually have one of our team members. His job was to go his full time just to work on our LinkedIn.
yeah.
So I'm getting a lot of traction now, and so now I'd like to talk about actually getting business because we followed some of your suggestions, okay, and we set up a sales funnel, and it's very simple. First, we ask them to connect. Actually, first, we have a client avatar. So you got to decide, right? This is who I want to work with,
Yeah.
correct? You don't
Yes.
just try to do business with everybody. That's
Yes. Yes.
impossible. It's a waste of time. So right now, and I mentioned this, we're looking to do business with coaches and consultants. That's one of our avatars. So what JR does is he searches for those people, he sends them a connection request, and then
Mhm.
so a lot of them they connect with us. We're not trying to sell them anything. A lot of them will go in and view my profile. I see this, so they're actually they're actually, hey, this guy looks interesting, and then they'll spend the time to look at my profile. Couple of days later, we say thank you for connecting. We have a free gift for you, and we did your checklisting. We have I forget what the
Tax. Tax
Smart
check.
startup, smart startup checklist. Uh, uh, 14 things every business needs to address. Okay, and we got a really good response. Thank you for this. But we also got, in the last couple of days, we got three real leads.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is your, because you're a master at this.
Yeah.
What what is, and I don't know if you have a couple of different ways to do this, but give us your overview.
Yeah, because it's human nature. People on LinkedIn, again, I mentioned to you earlier, people on LinkedIn wants to educate, entertain, and to be inspired. So if you are educating them, they will follow you. And if you send something valuable inside a free webinar, a free cheat sheet, or whatever, they love that. The best things in life are free. So everything free is, I'm so happy. Even me, if I see free webinar, I will attend. But that's it. And then they will get value and they will appreciate that. And from there, they will be inspired on your story, how you started. So now I posted 3 years ago, I'm just a freelancer. Now I have an agency. So they follow those steps, they get inspired, and that's it. They will follow and get a lead. So maybe there's a, but it's again, it's a mix of your consistency and posting. I don't have a certain topic that I'm posting every day, just a random. Earlier, I have now a content for tomorrow. So while I'm driving, I'm creating my content on my mind. Then I'll just pitch in Tagalog. And then I put in AI, translate into English, correct my grammar, please. So you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
easy now. Before I have limiting beliefs also on posting about my English because I'm not good in English. But now there's an AI. So it's a mix of automations, your personal story, branding, marketing strategy. Yes.
Yeah, so some people get caught up in, okay, what am I going to actually post? What kind of content do I have? And I'd like to share with you, the mistake that I've made, and again, I think you were primarily uh, my go-to person. What am I doing wrong? I would post like the most brilliant
Ideas of
tax
taxes.
strategies.
Nobody will like
Hey,
it.
if you hire your children, you're gonna do that, and it's legit. It's like, even I put in the I have a tax AI. Hey, give me some really good tax strategies for self-employed people, and they list hire your family members, set up a SEP IRA, and what I learned was nobody cares about that stuff. I took a picture of Pi, my little kitten. I got
See,
more
likes.
responses, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" All I got to do is put. So what you do, you're at the gym. You're talking about your journey to get healthy. You're at a restaurant. You're taking so everywhere you go, it's like if somebody's following you, it's almost like they're literally following you, right?
Yeah.
So you always have content because you're always doing something. So that's a simple way. And I keep saying, I got to do this. And in fact, a couple of weeks ago, I was having dinner with Bella and her aunt and some other her family, and I posted it. And I got people. I had college friends that I haven't spoken to in like 40 years.
Connected with you.
Hey Joe, you looking good. It was like, oh my God, just a simple
Pictures.
photo of
Events.
so what
Events.
is it? That like and you mentioned that like people what is it about the restaurants?
People love to eat, and people, that's me, my comfort, so my comfort food. I'm looking, if I'm stressed, I love to eat food, and I always try different kind of restaurants so I can share to other people which is good or not, and then they will go there. For example, go to the hotel. This is Okada. This is beautiful. And this body. Oh, they went to the Okada. They went to that place. So they will go there and experience. So again, in we're human. So people buy story and experience. So they want to experience what you have experienced. It's
Interesting.
more relatable than posting, tax code or whatever form.
Yeah,
I don't
and I learned this. I was like, oh my God, all these years I'm posting.
I'm also
And
doing that when I started freelancing and creating my own Canva, sharing back reconciliation, sharing financial statements, sharing how to do the bookkeeping, but nobody likes it. And then I realized, yeah, you should create the story.
yeah, and now I know this, and I see people that we both know, and they're on social media a lot. They're on, and I'm like, oh my God, they're talking about how to reverse uh, when a client bounces a check, how to record it. I'm like, who's
Nobody
gonna?
would want
Well, they're not gonna get a client from that, right? Client business owners don't care about. They're like,
it.
that's my bookkeeper that's going to do that. Uh, so I'm like, oh my God, they might get a bookkeeper that's valuable to them, but the bookkeepers aren't their clients.
So I have a suggestion. So I think I gave it to you before. If you're running out of the content, remember in Facebook there's a memories, right? So I remember we have a post last time when we first met in Okada, in the hallway of Okada. I reposted on social on LinkedIn and shared that from January 22, from a client now turns to
I
business partner.
remember that. I remember
And
that.
then
Yeah.
now I'm still getting comment on that. It's inspiring. So meaning if you can repurpose those pictures every day, you have to post, then you will remind yourself next year, 2 years ago, what is your life, so you can share your realization and takeaways from that.
Yeah. So you're getting it from Facebook and then you're posting it on
Yes.
LinkedIn. Yeah. So thank you for that because when you post that, you're also giving me
Yes.
some right.
So I can share story within, if I'm running out of content. Oh, what happened 3 years ago, 5 years ago? It's Father's
It's
Day, so
funny
I did.
because yeah, Father's Day. So today, I saw I did a lot of Facebook lives like 3 and 4 years ago, and I'm looking today. This is what you were doing 4 years ago, and I saw my background. You know when people have a background that like everybody has the Golden Gate Bridge. That
Yes.
was one that I used, and I see my team. I was like, oh my God, how many people have the Golden Gate Bridge? And the skyline of Manhattan. So 4 years ago, I had the skyline of Manhattan. I was wearing suspenders, and I was like, "Oh my God, how things have changed."
Yes.
So
And then
here's
you remember
why.
those experience that year, and it will remind you, oh, that year I'm doing this, now I'm here. So there's some before and after realizations, so people
Yeah,
again.
so if I follow your formula, I should take that memory, right, and
Yes.
say 4 years ago I didn't have a team.
Yeah,
Bedrock was just
doing
an
this.
idea. And now look, now I'm in the Philippines. I'm teaching hundreds of people U.S. taxes. So I love that. That's easy. That's
Yeah, so
easy.
no need
Taking
to
like
create
30
and
seconds.
copy. You don't need to
That
copy your content because that's your own story. That's the
yeah. And that's so it is inspiring because people they like uh, success. They like seeing people. Oh, wow! I see Marianne. She's got 30,000 followers on LinkedIn. She's got a group, and they think it was always like that, right? They don't they don't. It's not like you woke up one day and you said, "Oh, I got 30,000."
yeah.
It took years. It takes years,
That's
right?
why I told those people, if you will not start freelancing, where where do you 3 years from now? So who are you 5 years from now? So if you didn't start something,
Right.
so at
And
least
it's hard. It's hard for me. Like people, if you ask me where do I want to be 5 years from now, I would say probably right where I am right now. You know, but if if I saw somebody that was exactly where I am now, right, and then 5 years from now, 5 years later, they're flying their own jet. They own casinos, and I was like, that's what I. If he did it, then I could do
yeah,
it, right? So you can
yeah,
relate. So Juan says he's got 226 profile views and 21 search appearances. What is that? Does that mean somebody's actually searching his name?
yeah. That's why it depends on your activity on LinkedIn, on your and your application. So again, most of the clients, if you're applying for a position, for sure they will look for your name on LinkedIn. That's why there's a lot of views. And then depends on the activities you post. So there's get interested with your post, so they will view. So it depends on your activity.
Interesting. So Michelle says, "Good evening."
That's
And
my friend, college days. She wants to transition into bookkeeper.
okay,
Yeah.
well, you're in the right place, Michelle. You're
Hi,
talking right.
Sharon.
Here's one of our new friends, Deck, one of the award winners at the Jumpstart. Hi, Deck. Thank
The
you.
best in Zumba.
Yeah. So, we're on almost 40 minutes now, and I like to try to keep these to
Yeah. I
a
like,
short.
yeah, I'm enjoying this session. So, again,
Yeah.
there's no secret formula on LinkedIn. It's just a matter if just trial and error what works for me for the past year. So we're just sharing. I'm just sharing. Even though I'm sharing all my tips on how to get leads, and I think it's working, Joe, right? So it's
Oh
worth it.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely working. But I like what you said. It is trial and error. Uh, I think posts that work for you might not necessarily work for me because we're different. I mean,
Yeah,
you have your story, I have mine. We come from different parts of the world, right? A lot of people that relate to you might not relate to me, and vice versa, right? Like, I might have, like, an accountant, a CPA is probably going to be more likely to follow me than follow you, right? A
yeah,
freelancer in the Philippines is going to be more likely to follow you than me. That doesn't mean a CPA isn't going to follow you, but
yeah,
really, and I think it goes with what we talked about on Saturday's Jumpstart. You got to be authentic. You
yes,
got to
that's
be
the
yourself,
law.
right?
Authenticity. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know, we're good friends. I know I've met your family. I've been to your house in the jungle, and I know when you're posting, that's you. That's you.
Yeah.
So,
And somebody told me, is there someone who's posting your social media? No, I'm the one doing that. So that's it. This is my story. So I want to be more hands on my content.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I do have people helping me with my social media, uh, but I'm on there. I'm actually on there posting about what they're not on there posting about what I'm doing, right?
Yeah, but for the banner and the social the graphics, they're the one somebody's doing that.
Right.
But for the
They're
content, I'm
putting up the quote of the day. Uh, here we have a new jumpstart thing. But if nobody's pretending to be Joe DeChara, okay, that's what I'm saying. When
yes.
I'm so, and another thing I do is, especially if somebody responds to one of my posts, I'm always going in there and either liking them or replying to them. So I learned that that's just acknowledging, hey, thank you for following my post. So and we have Eileen here saying hello, sis Yan Yan. So thank you, Eileen. Uh, any last valuable tips that you can give the people following here?
Yeah, again, I always remind them that instead of posting on Facebook group, you should better go to LinkedIn and observe, be a keen observer on LinkedIn, their activities and your target clients. Again, I've mentioned earlier, I've met one of my connections in Singapore. They went here yesterday. And now I met their whole family from Singapore, and that's a good feeling that they like the Philippines. And then somebody told me, "You're like an ambassador. Everybody who wants to come here in the Philippines, you're the ambassador of freelancing. You imagine
Yeah.
Joe, Larry is coming here, so the Singapore is coming here to the Philippines. So that's the power. I call that's the power of LinkedIn.
Well, it is true. You're an influencer. Tens of thousands of people know Coach Yan Yan, literally tens of thousands of people, and it's just growing exponentially. So,
I'm
yeah, and
flattered.
it's like, and I think you said this, if you don't post, I think people will say, what happened to Marianne? Where is
Yes.
she?
If I'm
What's that?
quiet, they're worried. But maybe I'm sick or I'm lonely or sad. So they're checking on me. How are you? Why you so quiet? If you're quiet, that's not Coach yan.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
thank you
All
so
right,
much.
Coach. Thank you. God
Thank you.
bless. Uh, Thank you for your time, as always. It's always a learning experience.
Me
And
too. I'm
yeah,
happy.
thank you all for watching live. And oh, and one last thing, I almost forgot to say this. So Coach Yan Yan doesn't only have, a huge following. She knows how to post, knows how to get business. She's verified as one of the top 100 Philippine influencers to follow on LinkedIn. In fact, you're number 17, right?
Yeah. Thank
Gonna
you.
You're going to get in the top 5 next year, right?
This year, hopefully, let's see. Let's
Right.
see.
All
Of course, I
right.
love it. I'll be honest. I'll be transparent. I love it. But let's see.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
everybody.
Everyone, good
God
night.
bless. That's our story. We're sticking with it. Have a good night, and we will see you
Bye.
again next week. Thank you.